You are looking live at my office for Seahawk Talk, but where the heck am I? I'm not there, am I? And that's not live either. That's just an image from yesterday. Here I am in my home studio on Seahawk Talk. Welcome, everybody. I'm Ed Habershaw, hosting Seahawk Talk. I've got our producers backstage ready to join us as well. Today is Friday, September 4, and you saw in the leading up to this opening that it's also in 1999, men's soccer defeated Montclair State 2-0 in Montclair, New Jersey. Congratulations to the Seahawks. Way back when, 21 years ago. Today, September 4, we have our winter sport head coaches on Seahawk Talk. We'll be joined by Sean Foster, class of 97, Zech Klann, David Lunn, first-year head coach for women's ice hockey, and Cori Hughes. Are you ready? I am. Here we go. Oh, wait a minute. We got to do that feature of naming that tune. So if you're listening, let me know what song this is and join us in the comments with your guesses. You can have more than one guess. This can be tricky. Our producers thought it was one way and then realized it was very similar to another song. So give us your best guess. And here we go. Yeah. Seahawk Talk on Friday, our first full week of season 2. And we progress from spring sports on Monday and Tuesday to fall sports on Wednesday and Thursday. Now it's winter time. All right. But we have some nice spring, summer footage to show you with a feature called Love Your Local that will be coming up soon with Andrew Pizzelli. So let's bring in our producing crew. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Michael. Hello, Joey. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Excellent. So I teased a little bit that we were going to start off with Love Your Local. So let me have Andrew. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'll just quickly say the idea behind this before we roll tape. So at the beginning of the pandemic, everybody was kind of just stuck where they were. And so for me personally, I got out a lot. I walked around my neighborhood, around town as far as I could until my legs got tired and then had to walk back. So just about exploring your local area. And now that's kind of evolved into, a lot of how we're going to get out of this is to support our local businesses and that sort of thing. So the idea of loving your local, I just want to get out. I want to find those little places that are either, easy to get to or free to do. Or ways that you can support, things that are in your locality. So this is a Love Your Local for Brenton Point. So if you want to roll,
Love Your Local, and we'll go full screen with this, and Andrew will give us an explanation of what he's seeing in this awesome video.
All right, so occupying the former grounds of Newport's grandest estate, Brenton Point State Park affords its visitors one of the most commanding and spectacular views on the East Coast. The park is located at the point of land where Narragansett Bay meets the Atlantic, midway along renowned Ocean Drive. Between 1876 and 1883, lawyer and businessman Theodore M. Davis built a mansion known as the Reefs on the property, where he lived until his death in 1915. In 1922, it became the property of an auto magnate, Milton J. Budlong. During World War II, the Budlong home was condemned and purchased by the government in order to erect a coastal defense battery as part of the harbor defenses of Narragansett Bay. One of the original 4 circular concrete Panama mounts, built for towed 155mm guns, remains in place. Radar and searchlights were also in the area, and an anti-motor torpedo boat battery was at Brenton Point from July 1943 until it was moved to Fort Wetherill in Jamestown. At war's end, that battery was dismantled, and the estate returned to the Budlongs, who allowed it just to fall into complete despair. The heavily vandalized manor house was partially destroyed by fire in 1960 and then torn down in 1963. The former laundry/servants' quarters building serves as the park's visitor center and the ranger's office. The mansion's now derelict carriage house and stables still stand, though they have been fenced off. A stone observation tower is used by rangers and tourists to view the forest and ocean. Today, the park boasts walking trails and plenty of picnic tables. There are magnificent bay and ocean views. On foggy days, they see of merchant sailing ships, Navy destroyers, and American Challengers seem to play in the rolling waves just beyond the rocks. On most clear days, it's a great place to fly kites. In 1988, carved stone monuments celebrating the role played by Portuguese explorers in southeastern New England waters were added to the park. There's just tons of open space for social distancing, plenty to explore and learn, and just a fantastic spot to take in the ocean. And guys, here's the kicker, the best part. It is free. So you can't beat free. And so I'll have this video up online later along with this graphic that we'll be doing for all the Love Your Locals, showing how close it is to campus, how much time it should take you to do. Obviously, this is a park, so it could take you an hour to just run around and see everything, or longer if you want to hang out. And yeah, how much this endeavor for Love Your Local will cost you, and free. Gotta love the free ones. So
Absolutely. Love that feature, Andrew. And Michael and Joey, have you had a chance to be out on Brenton Point?
Yeah, that's actually where we had our, at least for me, freshman orientation was on there. We saw that right there, and I think they had Dells come out. That was it's really nice. I didn't know the whole story behind that, so that's very cool to see.
Yeah, I think either they did it with all the freshmen, or I was in the same group as Mike, because I remember that with the Dells and sitting on the rocks and everything. It was awesome.
yeah, and I'm sure that during the weekends there's more little like Adele's truck or maybe a food truck. Today I actually saw they had a kite truck. There was a guy parked there.
Oh yeah, I remember the kites.
If you didn't have a kite to fly, you could buy one, or I guess rent one. I don't know. So yeah, easy spot to get to just go hang out, especially now when we're looking to do things that are outdoors and plenty of space to spread out and tons to explore. So.
Well, we've got some nice feedback from Dawn Hahn on Facebook, and she got some nice feedback from Greg K on Facebook.
I'll say hi, Dawn, as well. I miss Dawn.
And right back to Greg as well. We appreciate them following us on Facebook. We're streaming on multiple platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope through Twitter. So we enjoy folks to comment, and we'll be having our winter sport head coaches coming up. Right now, Sean Foster is in the waiting room backstage. I see a lot of memorabilia on his wall behind him. And folks, Michael and Joey, you wanted to share some leadoff items in the world of sports. Let me know what you've got right now.
All right. Joey, if you want to take the lead, you can go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I just thought I'm not going to pretend that I know a lot about soccer, but big news today is that Lionel Messi announced that he's going to stay with Barcelona Football Club for one more season, even though he planned to leave. It was like a whole debacle if people have been following it. And instead of taking legal dispute against Barcelona and putting his team through that, or having to pay the huge amount of money to end his contract, he's just going to stick around for one more year, and then hopefully next year he said he's going to start going with the international stuff. So pretty big football news for soccer, football, whatever.
True.
Who are interested in that.
Yeah, speaking of football, if that's a good segue, I got an American football story right here. Adrian Peterson, legendary running back, still playing in the league. He was released from the Washington football team today. And New England Patriots are one of his top landing spots. There are 4 teams right now listed. The story was per Jeff Kerr from CBS. He listed New England Patriots, Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings, and the Eagles as possible landing spots for him. So we're pretty filled up, but it can never hurt to have another running back like that on the roster. So
AD or AP.
Yeah, AD they call him all day.
All day, Adrian.
That's it.
Excellent, Michael and Joey, and thank you very much. I'll keep Andrew on the screen because I know he had a question for our next guest, Sean Foster. Coach Foster, how are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you guys doing?
Very good. I'm sure you were watching NBA action this summer and into September now, and you had a chance to watch the Celtics last night?
Unfortunately, I did, yes. And I was going to say, in terms of the NBA, your co-host looks like a young Manu Ginobili right there with a new look. I haven't seen him in a while, so he's growing the hair out, looking good.
Until I'm broadcasting another game, Sean, I'm letting this go. You said we're going to get Sofro Darko to cut my hair January 2, hopefully, if we're having games. So
do it for those who can't. It's working for you.
Yeah, I'm doing it for everybody.
All right.
I had a question for you, though. Just a hypothetical situation here. Let's say half a second left. You're up by 2. Are you going man defense or zone defense in that situation?
Definitely going man, but unfortunately, I would not have had Taco on the ball.
You don't have somebody that tall on the ball, right?
Oh, if you're putting your size on, you want to get your hands touching at the top so that there's no angle there. He had the goalposts up and just gave a
field goal,
a clear path, for that one. So that was hard to watch.
Of that zone is that corner there. It required a perfect pass. Was any credence? You said you wouldn't have had Taco there. I've heard some people say the big guy actually prevented, say, Jaylen Brown or other guys from seeing the eyes of Kyle Lowry where he might be looking to throw. Any credence?
Yeah, the size is good, but we like somebody a little more mobile and able to X out the ball a little bit more. But he gave us space there and not super mobile.
Yeah. Oh well, on to game 4.
Game 4. That's
so it's all about.
With a 2-1 lead, so you can't complain about that.
They're up.
All right.
Thanks,
Sean.
you, guys.
All right.
Hey, Sean, when we last talked, you were probably in your second or third week of Seahawk Talk, and then you loaded up the rest of your engagements with current players and former players and assistant coaches. So it's been a while since we've had you on Seahawk Talk. We had the pleasure of bringing in a lot of your alumni, especially from your championship season in 2011, and showed a lot of footage there. Talk about what's been happening with men's basketball since we last talked in the spring.
Yeah, and those alums, they're tremendous, and they're all doing so well. It is a big family for us, and I really enjoy the fact that so many of them are in touch and staying together, and they play in leagues together. And so to be able to get them on and show them a little bit, they have much more important things to say than I do. So I'm very proud of the alums and, certainly the current players. But from a standpoint with the program, and we're just taking it one day at a time like everybody else. This is a time period, September, where generally it's a great, experience for our upperclassmen to be leaders and have leadership time without the coaching staff involved. And normally they're playing pickup and lifting weights and doing all that. And most importantly, showing the young freshmen, this is how we're going to be citizens on campus. This is how we're going to be in the classroom. This is how we're going to be on the court. And the challenge is that not being around each other as much, that's going to be a little more difficult. But, I have a great group. We're finally at a point, after a few years of really having some strength in the upper class, the juniors and seniors. We have 4 juniors, 4 seniors coming back, and I'm really going to lean on them this fall to point the younger guys in the right direction. And I think they'll do a great job. A very, very good group that we have.
Yeah, you've got Thor Brosh, Collins, Kevin Kelly, Toller as your returning 4 seniors, and followed by Mike Palmieri, Chris Peasley, and Andrew Richards and Mikey Spencer as your juniors. That's a very top-heavy leadership that you can lean on. You're, I'm sure, getting very comfortable with the ability to communicate remotely with Zoom or WebEx and whatever other platform. Talk about your engagement there with your Seahawks.
Yeah, the team meetings are certainly a little bit different, but I think they've been very productive. We've split it up a little bit at the end of the summer where we've split up some classes, and the last one we've had was able to meet with just the seniors. We've done one with all the incomings. So just trying to get creative and do the small group thing so that we can get information back and forth. And, going forward, that will be a tool that we have to continue to utilize.
I got to ask, when's the last time you handled the basketball and took a shot at a basket?
Well, we don't have a hoop in the driveway, but a neighbor does. So we've handled it a little bit with the younger kids. So I've definitely rebounded a little bit for them.
Nice. My answer to that question for myself was an hour ago.
Nice.
I do have a basket out in my driveway, and today I am doing this stream from home. I have been doing it the first 4 days from the office, but it was nice to be home here. I love seeing you in your office setting. Tell me about the history that's behind you.
Yeah, we've got quite a big history, and I actually just got off the phone before I got on here with Mike Plansky, who had hired me as an assistant here. So it's nice to be able to go back to being a player, being an assistant coach, and being a head coach for a number of years. Now there's a big mass of alumni that you can kind of connect with, and we're ordering gear coming up, and certainly opening that up to the alums, and so I'm constantly in touch with a lot of them, but it's great to be able to showcase them on the wall and not forget them.
Yeah, with Seahawks, I had the opportunity to reach out to Dan Royce, Wendell Hinkson, and Ryan Burrell back in the spring, and for each one of them, they were part of your 2011 championship, and you weren't just a part of a championship as a coach, but also as a player. When you arrived on this campus, I won't say how long ago, but like Rafa, and you got the experience of being on a championship team with alumni that you still stay in touch with. Talk about that connection as well. Yeah,
it's a lot of great guys back there, and when you play a number of years, I tell these guys all the time, it's about the relationships, and there's some tremendous people that have come through the program, all throughout the years. So very fortunate, and that's why you get into coaching, to be able to help people, and hope that they can take something from your program to help them in the future.
As you see, Greg K has put a tribute to the recently departed Tom Seaver as his icon in Facebook. And he also lets you know that he takes a double XL if you're interested in sharing any gear with him. Sean,
Noted.
What have your conversations been with your fellow Commonwealth Coast Conference men's basketball coaches, and what do you look forward to for the upcoming 2020-2021 season?
Hopefully competition. We've had a couple of calls in the last week or so. We've been on twice together, and there's tremendous people that are coaching at the other institutions in the league, and I really admire a lot of them that we compete against. We want to get back to that. I've seen a bunch of them out recruiting and everything, but there's still so many unknowns. So, for us, we're just kind of going over different scenarios and if-then type of scenarios. If this happens, then, this would be our scheduling recommendation. And, of course, Greg K is supervising a lot of that. We're hoping to get back to playing each other.
And what do you schedule looking like once we're able to have live competition in January?
It's tough to say. At this point, I know we have some plans to maybe play everybody twice in conference. There's also a possibility that we could play everybody just once. But if we can get to a point where our guys are back in playing and competing, I know they'd be very happy about that. And we're certainly seeing how it goes. That fortunate thing for the winter sports is we kind of have the fall sports to begin first with their practices and as guinea pigs, and see how that goes and see what works for them, what doesn't work for them, and then we can kind of adjust accordingly when we begin in October.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with you and your season and your family as well. I'm going to bring in our next guest, Zech Klon, so you have a chance to converse with him and let everybody know that winter is on its way. Zech,
how are we doing, guys?
Great to see you.
Hey, good to see you too. How's everybody doing?
Awesome.
We're doing well.
It's Frozen Friday, as we've made that a tradition through Seahawk Talk and talking with our winter sport head coaches. We got to start off Friday with Sean from his office, and now it looks like we'll be going to Coach Klann in his home office.
We're just both happy to have a minute without chasing around the young ones, I think. This is a break for us, so thank you for doing it.
Yeah, I'll give you a 10-minute respite so you can relax. Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Great. Thank you.
See you, Sean.
That's Sean Foster, a South Virginia University men's basketball head coach. And now alongside me is our men's ice hockey head coach, Zech Klon. Zech, you've been busy today, correct?
Today's been a busy day. It's, we have our international guys got in 2 weeks ago and they went through their quarantine process. So those guys are, finally out of that. And now they're into orientation and getting to know the ins and outs of Salve. So it's been an exciting day. We had a couple other freshmen that just arrived to Newport. They moved into their off-campus housing and they're getting ready for their orientation as well.
And when you say international guys, we're not just talking a handful. We're talking quite a bit. You've got some numbers there.
We did. We did a lot of recruiting from Canada this year. We have guys from Manitoba, from Alberta, from Ontario coming in. So, we're very pleased with the guys that are here. It was a little bit touch and go for the international kids for a little bit, whether they'd be able to get across the border. Or, if they were going to have to stay at home. So when everybody's boots got here, we kind of had a sigh of relief and are excited to have them on campus.
So they didn't just bring their boots. They brought their skates, correct?
They brought their skates too. They definitely brought their skates. It's a really exciting, time for, I think, just the university in whole, after everything that has been going on and, just to see everybody back on campus, the freshmen, walking around and seeing their faces, some of them seeing campus for the first time because a lot of stuff in the spring, they weren't allowed to come to campus to see it. So just to be able to see the kids on campus and, the campus have a pulse again, it's a very exciting time.
So these connections that you had with them, you weren't in their backyard. You were doing it virtually, correct?
So we did it virtually. We were able to get a couple of the guys down right before everything was shut down, and they decided to commit. But the other guys, there was a lot of time spent, on Zoom calls, phone calls, just with their families and developing a relationship with these guys. And it was a long process, but it was a lot of fun. And the guys that that we recruited and that are here, we can't be, more excited to work with these guys. And we think they all bring a different piece to our club.
Zech, when was the last time you stepped on ice?
I did one time this summer. Just one time I helped out with a clinic. There's a one rink open in Northern Rhode Island. So I headed up there. It was in July. So I definitely have to get my skate sharpened before we start in October.
Well, how good did that feel to get on that ice that one time?
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome. Anytime you get to, lace your skates up, it's a good day. It's kind of the same thing as golf. Anytime you get to be on the golf course, no matter what, it's a good day.
Now, ice hockey gear manufacturers have been at the forefront of a lot of PPE. Do you know anybody in the industry that you've had communication with? I've seen some news clips of, I think, Bauer with their face mask and shields, being able to, cross over into the PPE area?
It's one of those things. The hockey community it's a very small community, whether that's, from the NHL all the way down to youth, to the people that make the equipment, to just even the Zamboni drivers, to everybody that's around the game. It's a very tight-knit community. And I think, when, kind of the SOS went out that we need masks built, it didn't surprise me that these manufacturers, stopped production of equipment. And went into helping with masks and visors. It's funny. I was just talking with our rep that we get our equipment from, and he said there's some things on back order just because the factories weren't able to make it through the summer because they were doing masks. So when you hear that and hear what they're doing for it, usually you get on them a little bit because we need our stuff for the guys. But when you hear that they're doing that, it's take all the time you need.
Yeah, especially since you're not starting until they get that part of their job done anyway. We're not in a safe area to get out on the ice until things are taken care of on that end.
Yeah, so right now, in the state, it is their rinks are opening, but there's very strict guidelines, so it's a certain amount of people in the building at a time. It's a certain amount of people on the ice. You have to show up to the rink with 80% of your equipment on. And then you shuffle out one door and then a new group comes in after a deep clean. So, it's been interesting. I was on the phone with another college coach yesterday that coaches a team in upstate New York. And I was just asking him, how things were going, with their league and what they were able to do. And, they said that they have no ice, that, it doesn't look like they're going to be getting it, soon, that other universities are kind of reaching out to find different means. So for us, I think we're ahead of the game being in Rhode Island and being a state that, is moving along with this. And, for us, I think our guys are going to be lucky because we'll be able to get on the ice here, hopefully in October.
And when you do, what can we expect from this version of the Seahawks?
Just in means of how we're going to run the fall this year?
Yes.
I think that at the start, it's going to be, I am actually looking forward to it. I think that there's going to be, with smaller groups on the ice, there's going to be a lot more time to teach and really get questions and let guys get the reps that they need, and usually when you have a full team out there, you don't get as many reps and there's, you have to kind of keep going. So I really look forward to being able to work with small groups and get everybody on the same page, with the systems. And then when we are able to come together as a full group, everybody will be on the same page and off we go.
Do you have an idea of what size roster you'll be working with?
Right now, I don't. We should have a pretty solid roster this year. So it's I'm looking forward to to getting everybody out there and getting the guys together and seeing what we have.
Now, as a hockey fan, how much have you been watching the NHL in its bubble, two bubble situation with the postseason?
It's turning the TV on in August and seeing hockey on. It's definitely a little shock to the system. You almost think that something's wrong. It's you're missing something. But it's been pretty interesting to watch. I think that as the series have gone on. The play, it's getting a lot more intense now. So it's been a lot of fun to watch and to see these guys play this time of year.
Greg K chimes in and asks for your thoughts on the new overtime rules.
I'm excited about it. I think that, whatever, we can kind of set ourselves apart from, I think it's going to be great for the game. I think it's going to bring some excitement to the game. I think that we're going to now have to, practice a little bit different and get some reps in at, a different overtime format. But, I look forward to it. I know the guys will be excited about it, and we'll see how it goes this year, but very exciting.
For folks that don't know, can you explain what some of those rules might be?
So it's 3-on-3, overtime. It's still conference. the conference. But the 3-on-3 overtime will be an exciting factor to the game, and it's always exciting. It's up and down. So no, we look forward to it.
I was hoping that we'd have a crossover with our next scheduled guest because I believe you share some similar roots. I know you're New England based now, and we're mostly like growing up. But when we hired David Lunn back in July, I learned that he was very much like you in terms of a Detroit Red Wings fan. So both of you have Michigan roots as well. Talk about that, and what do you see for the prospects for the Red Wings in this year's postseason?
Ooh, they've got a lot of work to do. I haven't really been caught up with with what they have coming in, but hopefully they can turn it around there. It's always good to see those guys play when you do. You don't get to see them play much out here, but hopefully they can start getting things together. Steve Yzerman going back and helping out there. I think he'll be able to turn it around there.
Excellent. Well, thank you for your time on today's show with Seahawk Talk. We're going to head to a break right now. I don't see David Lunn in the waiting room yet, but we'll take a short break. Appreciate Zech Klon joining us on Friday. I know you had a busy day, so really appreciate you working in this 10 minutes and hopefully from the comforts of home.
No worries at all. I actually I just walked in, about 5 minutes before we were supposed to get on. So gonna go say hi to the little ones, and but definitely, Ed, thank you for everything, and enjoy your long weekend here.
Thanks. You too, Zech. Take care.
Talk soon.
That's Zech Klon, Salvador University men's ice hockey head coach. He's in his 4th year. His very first year, he guided the team to the national championship game in Lake Placid. Our producer, Andrew Pizzelli, was on hand for so many of those games, and nobody can say it better than you, Andrew.
I mean, unfortunately, Salvador Regina did not come out on top, but in that scenario, at the Frozen Four and playing in a national championship game, just an amazing moment, not just for me and my color commentator Ryan Costa to be there, to be covering those games, for the team to be there, but a great moment for the entire university, just to be on the map like that. And I said it at the time. You said Salvador Regina to somebody, they think you're starting a hymn or a prayer. Especially that spring, Salvador Regina meant hockey, and a nationally contending team, and just an amazing experience, an amazing run with that team. Something I'll never forget. Never forget. Anybody who was a part of it won't forget it. It hurts, still hurts to this day. We're not going to get too much into it, but
I know.
Yeah, you couldn't. It was almost
always take the positives out of it.
The only way Zech could have done better is by winning the national title the next year. That's just such an insane bar to set. But I know that team with the guys they're bringing in, they're going to shoot to surpass that 17-18 team. I think they have the talent this year to at least be in the conversation again. So I know he's excited, and I'm excited too. Hopefully we can get those games going and be calling them. I had Greg K was there as well. He knows. Double overtime, almost like 5 hours of hockey. I didn't have much left in the pipes for that one.
It was awesome to listen to, and believe me, it was live streamed both video and audio wise. I preferred to listen to your audio because it was actually well ahead of the video feed that we were getting, and if I needed to see anything visually, the video would be the replay of your audio. So again, a wonderful job doing that. And
I had people texting me after that calling it heart attack special, because every single time my voice got a little bit faster, you thought like, oh my God, here it's coming. They're going to score. I appreciate the people who tuned in just to listen to me call that game or any game. Always appreciate the listeners. It's good to know.
It was so thrilling. My wife listened to. I was covering a doubleheader in men's and women's lacrosse at Gaudet Field. I believe we were playing Endicott that night at Gaudet, and I was more tuned in to the hockey broadcast than the actual events in front of me. We're going to be joined by Cori Hughes shortly. We'll take a quick break. Appreciate Andrew coming on during this segment. And when Cori comes back, once we add her to the stream, I am going to ask her if she knows this tune. And hopefully she's hearing this music in the background. And I'll ask her to name that tune as we go to break. So let us know in the chat room or comments what song clip we're looping in today's show. And if you have any suggestions of song clips you'd love to hear, we can cut them up and put them in a loop like this, and we can have you guess what it is. Welcome back to Seahawk Talk on Friday, September 4. I'm Ed Habishaw. We've been joined by Winter Sport head coaches today. Sean Foster started us off. Zech Klann. We missed a connection with our first-year head coach, David Lunn, with women's ice hockey. He's not only new to coaching South Virginia women's ice hockey, but he's also just recently moved his wife and his young daughter, Amelia, from Connecticut to Rhode Island. So I'm sure that transition is going well, and we just didn't communicate earlier in the day to make sure that we were on the same page. So I apologize for that, and we'll get in touch with David Lunn and have him back on future Fridays as we continue Seahawk Talk through January 1, 2021. And what's going to happen the day after January 1? Let's ask our next guest. Cori Hughes. Hello, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Very good, Coach. I love your hat that you're wearing, and I'm hoping for good luck, because what we're hoping for the day after our final scheduled Seahawk Talk segment on January 1 is what?
Basketball to be played.
Yes. You will lead it off with women's basketball traveling up to Norton, Massachusetts, to play the Lions of Wheaton College.
Yeah, we'll see if that actually, ends up happening. Obviously, a lot of the non-conference stuff is really up in the air. There's talk, but we'll see how that pans out. At any rate, we'll be playing basketball in January, and that's what I'm focused on.
That's a guarantee. What's your summer been like, Cori? I know you are a very creative person, a person who's always involved in either construction or landscaping. Tell me what projects you've completed and what you still have in progress.
Geez, I don't know if anybody cares about this stuff, but I started up woodworking and built some furniture. And then I did some work outside, replacing our fence and building a patio, a retaining wall, a pergola, a fire pit. So I've been very busy, and I don't have a project right now. I have some on the back burner, but I'm trying to figure out how this fall is going to look for me before I start something, something new, because it's going to be interesting and it's going to be different. So I want to keep my schedule open so I can be as flexible as I need to be.
How much has basketball been a part of your summer project? I asked Sean Foster when's the last time he dribbled the ball and took a shot at a basket, and he said he's been doing mostly rebounding chores for his young kids who shoot in the neighbor's driveway.
I actually did some instructional videos for the Celtics this summer. So I have had the ball in my hands doing some ball handling and some shooting drills, some defensive and just conditioning stuff, just demonstrating. I actually had some alumni also do a bunch of demonstrating for me. So the Celtics, they had a virtual camp this year and they just wanted content. And so they reached out to me and I gave them as much as they wanted. So they got a lot. And it was fun. It was nice to have the ball back in my hands. It was fun to see some alumni and have them working out with me, social distancing. And actually, it was, I think, good practice for the upcoming season, the way that we conducted ourselves, the space that we gave each other, how careful we were handling the ball and having our own balls and making sure that we were, at least disinfecting our hands, if not washing our hands in between stuff. So it's kind of like a warm up for the upcoming season.
Ball, we'll do two together. Control this. We'll do two ball, alternate. Okay. Yo-yo. Alternating yo-yo. Yo-yo in the front. Alternating yo-yo. High-low.
So our audio is muted when a clip like that is playing.
Gotcha.
But that was footage that we shot
A couple years ago.
a fair amount of years ago.
Yeah, I think it was 3.
Yeah. What alumni did join you in your work with the Celtics this summer?
Tori Scorpio, Liv Pierce, Allison Esalonis, and Carrie Beeland.
Awesome. So,
Yeah, it was great. And so I had, 2 post players and 2 guards, and they did some shooting and some, ball handling drills. They did some defensive drills. It was great to see them out in the court. I think they really enjoyed being out in the court and being together again. And of course, they were excited to be on a Celtics, website and showing off their skills, wearing all their Solvay gear. So I think that was exciting for them.
I know Allie, Terry, and Liv have experience coaching at different levels. Is Tori heading in that same direction?
I think she will do some coaching at some level, depending on how things go for us with, what we're able to do. I would like to reach out to her this year and see if she'd be interested in helping us out a little bit. I know that she is, working towards her master's right now, so she's actually here in Newport. And so if she has some availability and a willingness to help out, we want her, in the gym, helping kids, teaching them how to play at this level. She was a tremendous player, and I think that she would be a good coach. It's hard. It's a hard transition, though. It's a lot. The one thing that I learned really quickly in my coaching career is that it's one thing to be able to do something, and it's another thing to be able to explain and teach it. It's especially with players that are instinctual like Tor, actually thinking about how you learned how to do that and then how to teach it. I remember being a young coach thinking, you just do it. A lot of the things that we do as players is instinctual, and trying to convey that to a young player that just entering the collegiate ranks can be difficult, and it can be a little frustrating too. So much is out of your hands when you're coaching. It's really in the players' hands, and you just got to get them prepared.
So you watched the Celtics last night, I believe.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Did you watch the Celtics last night?
I did not watch the Celtics last night. No, I actually was busy.
I didn't either. But did you think that? Have you had a chance to see any highlights? It came down to the last half second.
Yeah, I actually have not. I got up this morning and went to work, and then I was doing testing, so I haven't seen it.
Okay. we won't go there then because
Maybe don't ruin it for me.
I know that was a conversation we had earlier with Sean Foster, who may have a player in the size of a Taco Falls, but I don't think one of those exists on the women's basketball team.
No, not so much.
Okay.
I mean, the closest thing we got is Meg.
Yeah. Will you return two seniors, Mary Rock and Brooke Monasek? Talk about what has transpired over the summer in terms of your regular virtual meetings that you've had with players and the conversations that you had and how you're preparing for this upcoming year.
Well, it was an interesting summer, and the conversations we had certainly had a lot to do with preparation for basketball, but considering just the things that are happening in our country, with the unrest and some of the issues that we're really struggling with as a people, we had a lot of conversations about that, which was really nice, to be honest, to kind of hear what these young people think about where we are as a country and where we need to be and some of their frustrations and fears. We spent a lot of our time actually talking about those things and trying to be a little bit more educated and trying to listen a little bit more. But more than anything, we really talked about how we want to engage, that we really feel like, like many people say, and it has been kind of like the mantra right now, it's not enough to not be racist. You have to be anti-racist. And I think that many of us are guilty of that. And we talked as a team about wanting to be more engaged and do more to help change what we feel is unjust. So I'm proud of the conversations we had, and I'm excited about how they might get involved in some things in this upcoming year and in their future and in their lives. We got a lot pinned on this generation, right? Making things better. And if their comments this summer is any indication, I have a lot of confidence and faith that they're going to make some positive change.
Awesome. Back in the springtime, once the current pandemic hit, your group, led by, I believe, Abby Williamson, your team manager, produced a wonderful PSA as far as letting people know many facets of how to stay safe. Talk about that.
Yeah, that was, Abby and I had a conversation without really going into a lot of detail. This whole pandemic has hit very, very close to home to me. And I know that you know that, Ed. I lost a sister, and I wanted to really get us involved in making sure that we understand the importance to help keep each other safe, and so, Abby and I had a conversation about what message we wanted to put out and how we could do it in a way that it would be listened to. And I have a little bit of humor in it and a lot of information, and I think it turned out great. The kids really enjoyed doing it, and I think it was a worthwhile project too. I think that we really, people that watched it, it could have been very useful to them. I think that there's a lot more information out there now. I think people really understand a little bit better about what's going on, and obviously we're still learning a lot about this disease and virus, and it's a little bit scary. And I think the most important thing that I've been trying to convey to my kids is that we have a responsibility to not just ourselves as teammates, but others, to make sure that we're doing all we can to keep each other safe. And again, that's stuff that we talked about a lot over the summer. We've talked about it leading up to the season, coming onto campus, making sure that we're leading by example. That's one of the things I just actually texted my kids a couple days ago, saying, we're going to lead by example. We're going to have our masks on. We're going to social distance. We're going to make good decisions. And that's the expectation. I have high expectations of my team. I think they have high expectations of themselves. And I want us to be leaders on this front in the community. So, here's hoping, right?
Absolutely, Coach. And that's what I've always admired about you. And I saw it from year one when you joined the Seahawks, and you've had lots of success, but it doesn't matter what the record is on the court. It's how you treat your players as human beings and as young people growing up. That's you are more concerned with their development as people, and obviously as basketball players as well. But when you have your senior days, you always have a well thought out message for your athletes as you say goodbye to them in a basketball sense from your program, but they always come back. They always return for the alumni games, and that's such a testament to you.
Well, thank you. I think I've changed a lot over the years as a coach. Definitely have different priorities based on my different experiences. It's easy to say really wonderful things about wonderful people, and I've had a lot of wonderful people that I've coached. So, telling people what I think of them, it's a little bit uncomfortable, but I know that, and this is something I tell my players all the time, we don't say enough positive things, and we don't tell each other how much we appreciate each other. And it's uncomfortable to do that, but think about how you feel when you hear that. And so, you take a big gulp, and then you say what you need to say, and you make sure you say everything you want to say. And I try to do that. I try to do that on senior day. I appreciate them as athletes. I appreciate them as people, and I want them to know that. And I think, I hope when I leave Solvay, certainly I would like a couple more dates on those banners, but the testament is the relationships they have. When I see pictures of their weddings, there's a bunch of Seahawks at that wedding. There's a bunch of teammates. Right now, we have former, teammates that are living together in Newport. They've gone and they've done their own thing, and they came back because they want to be part of this community, and they end up living together. People that weren't even really close on the team when they were players end up still, connecting and growing closer. And I said this on one of our calls the other night when we were talking to incoming, or I actually would guess it was all the students. We were asking them if they had questions, and what I said was, it's tough that we might have to compromise games this year. It's tough that we might have to compromise seasons, but I can honestly say, when I look back at my career, most of the things I remember most fondly had nothing to do with games. It had to do with my teammates and all the silly, stupid things that we did, all the times that we spent together. And I know that that's true of even the best teams that I coached, teams that went on and played in the NCAA tournament and just really were fantastic athletes, fantastic basketball players. They were friends before anything else, and I'm very proud of that. I take the time to try to recruit kids that have character, that can be selfless, and I think we've done a good job of that. I'd like to win a couple more games this year for sure, but I don't think you can get better people than we're getting here.
Wonderful. This is why I always love to finish Fridays with Cori Hughes. You're such an outstanding coach, no matter what the sport. But it is winter sports, and I did have a question at the beginning. Did you know this song?
I did not. I don't know it.
Imagine Dragons. It's time.
Gotcha.
We had no guests in the chat room, so we had to give away the answer there. And Greg K wanted to ask, do you think Becky Hammon will get an NBA head coaching opportunity? She's earned it.
I've been following that. Interestingly, all of that, the opportunities that women are having at the professional level. And I agree. I definitely think that she deserves it. I hope that she gets an opportunity. I mean, it's a lot different now than it used to be. I remember being, I might be dating myself. I'm 50 years old, but I grew up pretending that I was Magic Johnson. There weren't women that were in professional roles, even as athletes, let alone as coaches. and that's really flipped. You know, kids have women to look up to in all sorts of fields, and I'm glad that the coaching fields are actually catching up with the athletes. And I think she's a tremendous coach. I think that less and less people are worried about the gender, you know, and that's very, very refreshing. I mean, I remember the first time I ever coached boys, and I was being asked by somebody I really respected, did I think I could do it? Basketball is basketball. Yeah, I could do it. What's the difference? That mentality has changed. I think that there's a lot more respect for the knowledge and the experience and the talent of female coaches in both genders. I feel very, very respected as a coach by my counterpart, Sean Foster. He comes to my office and asks me questions. You know, I don't think that happened that much 20 years ago. So I'm hoping.
All right. We heard that you're in the final 3 of the running for the Pacers job.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't think I'm in that. Yeah, look, Hammond is. Yeah. I did read that. Good luck to her, man. It'd be a huge breakthrough. But I mean, look at the NFL. You know, they have women on their sideline now too. So yeah, I think that we're making great strides. I hope it continues. Boy, it's hard to be a trailblazer though, right? You really got to be on point because everybody's got their eyes on you. So I wish her nothing but luck, and certainly am rooting for her.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for your thoughts, not only on your team, but in life in general. I really appreciate it, and it's always wonderful to talk with you, whether it be on the stream or off the stream.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Everybody have a great long weekend. Go talk.
You too, Coach. Take care. That's Cori Hughes, Salve Virginia University women's basketball coach. A number of championships on the banner already for her, and we hope to see some more added to that banner. I'm Ed Habishaw. We'll be right back after this break. It's time for our wrap up. It's 3:57, soon to be 3:58. So we've got a scant 2 minutes to wrap up today's episode. Really appreciate your work in the background and in the foreground as we are now. Anything we can share with our audience out there in the final minute?
Just wanted to follow up. I tried to throw it in the chat there for Cori, but Becky Hammond is a finalist that I've heard she's in the final 3 for the Indiana Pacers head coaching position. Personally, I think if she were a man, she would have been hired already. She's got the credentials, decorated player, has been a decorated coach with the Spurs as an assistant, won the summer league title for them. So she's got the experience, she's got the credentials. I think she should be the next head coach of the Indiana Pacers personally.
All right, there's a vote for Becky Hammond there. Joey and Michael, anything?
Yeah, definitely. Following up that story with some WNBA news, actually. Last night, the WNBA is in their regular season still, but the Phoenix Mercury clinched the playoff spot, actually. Skylar Diggins-Smith went off for 28 points, and with the postseason coming up, the regular season ends September 12th, so that's good news for them. Wish them the best of luck going into the season. Also, just a quick little special interest story. Apparently, Doc Rivers is still using some of the old plays he used with the Celtics now with the Clippers, but instead of utilizing Pierce, he's using Kawhi. So a lot of the plays that he used to get Pierce open with that mid-range game, he's now using for Kawhi. So pretty interesting story right there that just developed this hour.
Awesome.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, exactly, right? Brush off the dust and just bring it back.
And Joey Morelli, you get the second to last word.
I don't know. I don't know anything about basketball really. I don't have any input.
That's
It's one of the few sports I don't know about.
I've been fortunate the last several months to put my hoop out to the end of my driveway, off to the right on grass, and I use a lot of Coach Hughes's teachings in terms of training myself to be a better ball handler and a better shooter. Love it so much. What I didn't share earlier or yesterday, I actually had this prepared, was the daily dad joke. So we'll finish with this one.
Oh man, that just sounds like my dad right there. I already did enough of that.
If you were a thermometer, we wouldn't know you because you wouldn't be in college. But Joey, Michael, Andrew, really appreciate your help throughout the entire week. I wish you guys a wonderful long weekend, Labor Day. We've officially have no show on Monday, September 7. We'll get back at it on Tuesday, September 8. And our leadoff guest after the opening banter with the producers will be Greg Kay, commissioner of the Commonwealth Coast Conference. And he'll be followed by Tuesday. What's Tuesday's lineup? Greg Kay, Janelle Iaquinto, Adam Zakara, and Matt Hurd. Everybody, have a great long weekend. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, Mike. And thanks, Joey.
See you guys on Tuesday.
Thanks, Ed.
Thanks to the producers. I'm Ed Habishore, and that daily dad joke at the bottom, that's courtesy of Andrew's calendar in the office. And we will say goodbye by going back to my office. Oh, nobody's there. What's up with that? Have a great day, everybody. It's time.